What's the biggest promise your parents broke that you never forgave? I was 15 when my parents made a promise that sounded heroic. We're going to get through this together, my mom said, holding my little brother, Adam's hand like she could physically keep him here just by not letting go. Adam was 11, leukemia. At first, they were perfect. Dad slept in the hospital chair every night. Mom learned every medication name like it was a second language. Nurses knew them by name. Other parents looked at us like we were the strong family. But strength has an expiration date. By the second month, things started slipping. Dad had important meetings. Mom had just one thing at work, so I stayed. At first, it was small things. Sitting with Adam during chemo, holding his hand when the needles went in, making jokes when he felt sick. Then it became everything. I learned how to read his charts. I knew which meds made him nauseous. I memorized the sound his breathing made when something was wrong. One night, he whispered, "Don't tell Mom I cried today." I smiled and said, "Your secret's safe." But the truth, there was no one to tell. By month 3, the hospital staff started looking at me when they needed decisions. "Do you consent to this? Can we proceed?" I was 15. I should have been worrying about exams, not signing forms with shaking hands. The worst night was in December. His fever spiked so fast his whole body started trembling. The monitor kept beeping, loud, sharp, wrong. I called my parents, once, twice, 10 times. Nothing. So I did what I'd seen them do. I grabbed the nurse. I explained everything. I stayed calm even though my chest felt like it was collapsing in on itself. Adam gripped my wrist and whispered, "Don't leave me." "I won't," I said. And I didn't. Not for a second. My parents showed up the next morning. Mom looked tired. Dad looked annoyed. "What happened?" he asked. I just stared at him. "What happened?" "Your son almost died." "That's what happened." But I didn't say it, because Adam was watching. By the time his treatment ended, I wasn't his sister anymore. I was everything. The one who stayed. The one who knew. The one who didn't leave. When he finally went into remission, my parents threw a huge celebration. Cake, photos, smiles for everyone. They posted captions about never giving up and fighting as a family. People called them inspiring. That night, Adam knocked on my door. He was holding that stupid hospital bracelet he refused to throw away. "They keep saying we did it together," he said quietly. Then he looked at me. "But it was mostly you, right?" That was the moment everything broke. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just quietly. "I promised I'd stay," I said. He nodded. "You did." 2 years later, I moved out the second I turned 18. Not to escape. To build something real. Adam spent more and more time at my place anyway. Homework, dinner, silence that actually felt safe. My parents noticed, but not enough to change. Then last year, my mom called, crying. Dad had cancer. Suddenly, they needed help. Appointments, medications, someone to sit beside him. "Please," she said. "We need you." Family shows up. I went to the hospital. Sat in that same waiting room. Same smell. Same chairs. Same quiet panic. Dad looked scared. For the first time, he understood. When they called his name, my mom grabbed my hand. "Come with us," she said. I stood up, picked up my bag, and for a second, I almost did. Then I looked at Adam. He was standing behind them, watching me, not scared, just waiting. So I let go of her hand. "I hope someone stays," I said. And I walked out. That night, Adam and I made dinner together. Half-burnt pasta. Too much salt. We laughed anyway. Later, he looked at me and said, "You know, if I ever get sick again." I froze. He smiled. "I already know who's staying."